Hi everyone, this video will serve as the introduction to my second great guitar build off 2022 kit build. If you've been following along with my first build, you'll know that I'm pretty much finished on it. It's getting near the finish line in a way. There's probably 2, maybe 3 videos left and then a super edit to complete it. If you have been following along, you'll know that I've been building a Telecaster style guitar with Fishman Fluence P90 pickups, the Greg Koch Signature Edition, as well as a piezo system, Fishman power chip, Fishman battery pack, all that good stuff. A few weeks back, to test those Fishman pickups, the Fluence, I strung up the guitar. I hadn't done a setup or any of the fretwork or anything like that. I just strung it up to test that. But it meant I got to play the guitar a bit. And having done that, I realised just how much better it was than my first kit build in pretty much every single regard. I started thinking about that first build and like how I could essentially rebuild it and do something better now. So that's what I'm going to do for this second build, is rebuild that first kit. So this here is the kit guitar in question, the first kit I ever made. Obviously it's a Strat style guitar. The kit itself came from a company called Guitar Fabric, I'm not entirely sure. It was about £60 with electronics, hardware, everything included. But the kit was terrible, utterly terrible. So we'll go through a few of the things. So for one, the neck did not fit in the pocket, and if you look on the side there, you can see there's a shim which I had to install. The route for the tremolo on the back here for the bridge was not properly aligned to said neck, so I had to sort of push this over as far as you could to one side to get that to go. I also ended up blocking up the trem here so it doesn't move. I don't really care about that because I don't care about tremolos, but anyway, had to do that. What else? The body, this wood, I'm not sure what wood it is, but it is very, very light and soft. And yeah, even under finish, it's getting dinged up and scratched and marked. I mean, you can see there's a big ding between the pick guard things there. You can see even the pick guards are getting scratched up. You can see I didn't actually install this one central. Up here at the neck, the nut was originally some crappy plastic nut, and in trying to remove that to replace it, I chipped off a load of wood at the top here. The slot itself was a bit knackered, so there's a bit of an issue with some string issues there now. Some of the notes don't sound out quite right. And then I've shaped the headstock. Another issue with this headstock shape, I like the shape, but it's a little bit too small. When I try and fit a tuner on there, there's not quite enough room. Things I like about it though is I replaced all of the electronics in the guitar. So this was a kit from Allegory for the pots and switch. That was CTS pots and a Grigsby, I think it's called, switch. So top quality there. And the pickups, they came from Tone Hatch Pickups in the US. So this is their Rude Blues set. And they're hand wound, they cost less than £100 shipped to the UK. Ridiculous value for money. And they are the best thing about this guitar. And essentially, they deserve a better guitar than this, given how good they sound. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some clips of how these sound at the end of this video so you can hear. I think that will serve as a good sort of contrast to once I finish the guitar. you know, before and after sort of thing. So what is the plan for this build, you might be asking? Well, if you've been paying attention in the background there, you can see a CAD model of what I plan to do. So I think we'll jump in and I'll show you that CAD model in more detail. So here is the design. We'll talk about the materials and some other bits in a minute. What I want to focus on right now is some of the design decisions I've taken here. So for one, you can see it doesn't have the normal Strat style comfort carves. This is because I don't want to take away too much of the top, but I still want to have a bit of a reveal around. Also, I'm using the top like a pick guard, as you can see here, and the Crimson Universal Cavity you can also see there for the electronics. The belly carve that you see in the model is actually much bigger than what I want to do, but I'll determine that fully when I actually get to carving the guitar itself. So you will have just seen the design in the CAD model there. What I'm going to do now is show you the woods and materials and parts that I've bought for this guitar so far. I'll start off with the neck. So I haven't actually bought a neck for it yet, but I'm going to use the same style of neck as I got for the Telecaster. So this is that neck. This was from Allegory here in the UK, and it's roasted maple, and they're gorgeous and amazing, and I love this neck. I had a different headstock shape I put on this one. I'm going to go for the original, but slightly bigger. And I'm not quite sure yet whether I'm going to go for the Tele neck, which has a flat heel here, or the Strat, and we'll come to that in a minute. For the main part of the body, I bought this here piece of ash. So you can sort of see I've drawn the outline of the Strat body on there. Both sides are pretty similar grain wise, so I'm not concerned about which is the top or the back. I'm going to need to take off some material to attach the top, and actually I want this guitar to be a little bit thinner than the standard Strat as well, to reduce the weight a little bit more. Tempest guitars on eBay. It was about, I think it was £55, and then £5 shipping, that sort of price. Pretty good value really, and that was pre-glued as well, pre-jointed and glued. For the top, I have bought this here piece of walnut from Crimson Guitars. So you can see it's 5.5mm thick, and it is gorgeous. And you can see again I've drawn the Strat outline on there. So this was also about £60, although with my GGBO discount from Crimson, I essentially got the shipping free basically. So yeah, pretty good deal, and I guess not many of you will have used Crimson for woods yet because the store is fairly new. It was perfect experience. Came brilliantly shipped. It was good price, reasonably fast shipping for Crimson standards at least. But yeah, all in all, pretty impressed with that, and it is pretty much perfectly jointed already. Tiny little bit of work to do on that to finish it off. I also got from Crimson the Strat body templates. So you've got the body outline one there, and then you've got the neck template one, and it also came with the pick guard, and obviously all the inserts and gubbins here, which I don't actually need any of, but there we go. I'm going to make use of the Crimson's Universal Cavity for the electronics cavity, which you saw in the model there. The pick guard will be used for routing out the, essentially because I'm using the top as a pick guard. So these will be routed out from that, as will the switch, although I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that switch yet. we'll see about that one later on down the line. So I guess the last thing to say really is that I'm going to reuse the electronics from the previous Strat, obviously, because I really like those electronics. The only two changes I'm considering, one is certain, is that I'm going to drop one of the tone pots. I barely ever use the tone pots on there anyway, and there's no point having one just for the bridge. So it will be master tone, master volume, and the 5-way switch. But I am considering buying one of the, I think it's Freeway is the company, which is free as in F-R-E-E. And if you get one of their switches, it's actually a 10-way switch, so it goes side to side as well as forward and back. And that gives you the option of doing, like, say, series parallel, for example, which I find quite interesting because some of my favourite positions on those pickups are the in-betweens. So I think having the series parallel option would be really nice. So I'm seriously considering that. One final thing to mention, which I briefly touched on earlier, was the neck. So the neck I got here is obviously a Telecaster style, and as you can see, the heel is flat at the back there. Whereas traditionally a Telecaster, or a Stratocaster, sorry, will have the curved back to the neck pocket and heel there, like so, from this Crimson template. Now my question is, if I got the Allegory Strat neck, which has the curved heel, will it fit this template perfectly? My experience with these things is not so good, and if I had to make my own, if I had to not use this template, cutting that is obviously a lot easier. So I'm still undecided if I will get the Telecaster version of the neck or the Strat. I mean, to be fair, that is a ridiculously tight thing there, and barely fits, so it's probably not an issue. But yeah, I'm undecided on that one. So any advice from you guys on what way I should go there, do let me know. So it's now a couple of weeks after the previous footage you've just seen, and I just wanted to add a couple of little things to this video. When I bought the top and the Strat template set from Crimson, they still had their previous shipping costs. And then 2 or 3 days after I received them, they announced a change. That was fun. One of the other key reasons why I want to build this one now is, if you've seen the previous build, you know that I don't have a workshop. I do the woodworking in my garden, and obviously that's weather dependent, and the best chances of adequate weather are in the summer. So yeah, getting it done now is the best bet, really. Yeah, and I'll leave you with some sound demos of the current version of the guitar, so you can get a feel for how it sounds now, and then down the line we'll be able to hear how it sounds once I'm done.